us to accommodate all the requests and the public interest in our road building and road rehabilitation program. We've come up with we've decided to sort of try and meet those demands by having a weekly regular Thursday briefing at 1 o'clock, 1:30 rather. And so take that message back to your newsroom, but I'll be following up also with your editors and news directors as well, just so that they understand. Without any further delay then, we'll get Chris to bring you up to date on the summer construction plan. So Chris Howard.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for coming, everyone. As you're aware, the city has launched the most aggressive program of road repair and maintenance in the city's history. Over $50 million is being invested this year in Saskatoon's roads, which is a 47% increase over last year. We heard from residents that the condition of roads is the single most important issue facing Saskatoon. Today, I'm pleased to announce an overview of the city's major roadway repair program and some of the other major construction programs or projects that will be going on this year. A detailed summary of the work has been provided to you in the handout that Mark's given to you guys. This year, some of the major locations scheduled for repairs include Circle Drive northbound and southbound from the Taylor Street overpass to the Highway 1116 overpass. Circle Drive westbound from College Drive to the Circle Drive North Bridge. Circle Drive eastbound and westbound from just west of the Highway 1116 overpass to just east. Resurfacing work on College Drive from the McKercher Drive overpass to the College Drive overpass. Further resurfacing work will occur on 51st Street from Faithful Avenue to Miller Avenue, as well as Miller Avenue from 43rd Street to 60th Street, and Faithful Avenue from 50th Street to 60th Street. Finally, we will be doing some surfacing work on 8th Street from Broadway Avenue to Lansdowne Avenue. All told, approximately $23.8 million will be invested in road and sidewalk rehabilitation and preservation this year. This will include work on all classifications of roadways, from residential streets to major freeways. In total, we will be completing approximately 178 lane kilometers of roadway repairs, which is equivalent in distance from approximately Saskatoon to Kindersley, and is 100 kilometers more than we completed last year. Although roadway preservation and rehab is the centerpiece of our efforts this year, we're also preparing to tackle numerous other infrastructure projects throughout the city. $8.2 million will be spent on rehabilitating approximately 14 kilometers of water and sewer infrastructure at various locations throughout the city. We will continue to focus on streetscaping projects with key locations at 25th Street, 20th Street, and Central Avenue. Sound walls will also continue to be constructed, with a project occurring along Circle Drive near Preston Avenue. And lastly, approximately $144 million will be spent on constructing new water and sewer and roadway infrastructure necessary for developing Saskatoon's newest neighborhoods. As always, efficiency, quality, and safety will be the focus of our construction season. We are committed to working efficiently and helping residents get around our city efficiently during construction season. Our crews will be completing roadway repairs this year at most non-residential locations around the clock, with a lot of the work being done during the night. This 24/7 hour approach will help to minimize disruptions for our commuters and will be the most efficient way for us to deliver this work. This past week, we also launched a dedicated website titled Building Better Roads to provide the latest information to residents, as well as schedules and construction activities, which will help residents plan their daily commutes. When it comes to quality, city engineers will be using the best quality materials and strategies to fix our roads. This will keep them in better condition for a longer period of time. Where necessary, we will also be taking protective measures, such as introducing drainage layers into our roads to help battle moisture damage in future years. Quality materials and a longer-term view will make a difference. We're not just building better roads, but we're building them to last. Finally, and most importantly, we are committed to safety this season, and we remind everyone to respect work zones. Even one accident or near miss in a work zone is one too many. If everyone respects our work zones, we will be able to work through the 2014 construction season safely and successfully. Thank you, and at this time I can take any questions that you guys may have.
This list here is work that's being done by the city or outside contractors.
Outside contractors predominantly. A lot of the work that our division puts out, we put out contracts and hire contractors to help us deliver this work. So
I don't see 24th Street or 4th Avenue as a priority.
they, 4th Avenue from 24th Street to the Broadway Bridge, I believe, is a project on the list. This is just, we tried to pick a snapshot of some of the high profile locations. Obviously that one that is a high profile one that didn't get on the list. Good point. That is getting completed though this year. We will be on our microsite updating that and keeping that current with a list of all locations, because the reality is that citywide we're doing hundreds of locations of streets this year, so it's hard to really package it into a short list. So more comprehensive information will be available on the microsite.
Even with trying to keep the work at night, there's going to be a lot of traffic disruption. Like how bad, like what should people be prepared for?
Well, obviously it's going to be one of the busiest construction seasons of all time in Saskatoon. So I think people have to have that in mind when they are getting out to the streets this summer, and realize that construction activity is going to be predominant out on the streets of Saskatoon. We are doing what we can to manage all of the projects that will be happening throughout the city to make sure that we are doing the work in the most efficient ways and having the least amount of impact on motorists as possible.
When you say that work on non-residential streets will be done, or most non-residential streets will be done around the clock, does that mean a bulk of the work is being done at night and during the day it'll lighten up to let more traffic through? Or will it kind of just stay consistent and sort of steady as you go?
The goal there is to, if we work 24/7, we'll be able to get the work done in a reduced time frame, right? So if there are opportunities to complete portions of that work at night in critical areas that would potentially have more of an impact on traffic during the daytime hours, we will do that. But the goal really is to just get the work done as quickly as possible, and including night work and day work in that will help us accomplish that.
And how much extra money is it going to cost to have workers working, I guess, around the clock or at night?
This year we saw about a 5 to 7% increase for working around the clock, so not too bad at all in relation to some of the numbers we've seen in past years.
Like on the 5 to 7% on the 23.8 million? Or no, I guess it would only be on the work, on the grand total of work on non-residential streets.
We were very cognizant of which projects we tendered with night options. So it's mostly the freeways and the major arterials and work that isn't around residential neighborhoods. So just those contracts we would have put out with different options for daytime, nighttime, and 24/7 work. The nighttime work came in at about a 5% premium, and the 24/7 work at about a 7% premium, which made it relatively easy for us to make decisions and choose those options as preferred options.
Why do you think it's not as costly to do that overnight work this time around?
I think it's primarily because we packaged a larger portion of the work together, and so we got more favorable prices. In past years, we only maybe focused on one or two major locations, which makes it a lot harder for the contractors to come in with reasonable prices for that type of work, because it's only one project that they're fitting into all the other work they're doing. By packaging it in with a larger portion of the work, we just see better prices.
When you say that they are building the roads to last, like what kind of results are you hoping to see from that? Like, do you think you won't have to have such a expensive project next construction season?
The goal with roadway, with constructing roads and preserving our roads is to, when you build them the first time, build them every road has a design life and they're gonna fail at some point, but the strategy is to build the roads properly at the beginning, and then as the road ages, do preservation treatments along the way to extend the life of that road. So that's kind of been our strategy this year, is to make sure that we're doing the preservation treatments on the roads that need them to extend the life of those roads for as long as we can, while any new roads we're building, making sure we're building them properly and building them to last as long as possible.
Are you seeing, are you seeing indications that that wasn't done in the past?
No, I think it's just a continuous improvement thing, right? Just making sure that, I think asset preservation and management is a relatively new thing. We've been doing it for a little bit, but we're continually improving on how we approach those types of things. So it's just making sure that we look at our roadway network as a whole and make sure we're making decisions and doing treatments to those roads to extend the life for as long as possible.
We spoke earlier this week about sidewalks, and you said there's like a $300,000 fund per year for sidewalks based on a list. Now, obviously, there's more money than that this year for sidewalks, right?
That was, what we talked about that day was a completely different thing than what I'm talking about today. So there's different funding sources for different programs that are dedicated. So it's kind of a tough question to get into in the details of it.
If I have a cracked sidewalk in front of my house.
That's a maintenance issue. These are planned repair and preservation program issues that I'm talking about today. So this is larger scale, more planned type projects, which is what's included in this.
Any of these
Dollar
projects involve building concrete? You're using concrete?
Not on any of these roads this year. You know, that's another